Breaking news, President Trump is calling on U.S. allies to step up and help reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Right now, the Trump administration is weighing sending American troops to escort ships through that passageway, and they want other countries to join the effort.
I think that's what President Trump is calling upon the world, saying the entire world is affected. Iran can't hold your economies hostage. And we certainly welcome, encourage, and even demand their participation to help their own economies.
Joining me now is Major Glenn Ignazio, former Air Force Special Operations Commander and national security expert. Welcome back, sir. It's good to see you. So Iran promises to keep the strait closed to its enemies until this conflict is over. Is President Trump's plan to deploy military troops and assets a realistic option? Because to what extent would that put our military in the direct line of fire?
Yeah, great question. As far as, the Straits of Hormuz, which was just a lead in, we definitely need those particular forces to be escorting. And at the same time, we should have taken care of the Straits of Hormuz ages ago. This is something that we knew was a bottleneck. As far as to the ground troop question that you're talking about, in all honesty, the only reason why I think the ground troops would be put in there is to look for the uranium, which is the major concern about everything going on with Iran. That uranium could be distributed to Houthis, Hezbollah, and so forth, which would expand things and be most dangerous. But at the same time, we've seen that the uranium is distributed, and that would be needed to be found. And honestly, ground troops would be the only ones to do that. And I think that's also the most dangerous thing because it would take a long time to do that.
Okay, I want to dig into this for a second, then I'm going to get back to energy with you. How dangerous are we talking about? Because are these in underground locations that have been unable to be penetrated up to this point? I mean, what does this even look like, putting ground troops potentially in there to extract uranium? It's not like they're picking up a ball.
You're absolutely right. Well, it is dangerous. Not only that, but those sites that were hit. Unfortunately, there's a lot of lead up and a lot of sort of chest beating about the attacks. And then Iran, of course, is not going to be stupid. And there's a commercial satellite company that saw a variety of different trucks that carry uranium in some of those areas and Fedora and others. So that's possibly where they're distributed. Say they're not, that's still deep into ground to confirm, are they there or not? So only way to do that would be to have a significant amount of troops. This is something like the 101st Airborne that would have to go in there, secure the area, and then dig. This is something that would not take a lot of time, would take a lot of time. So you're talking about boots on the ground for a long period. At the same time, if we're talking about special forces and others for different activities, say to put somebody else to change the regime, again, very difficult, very dangerous because you don't have the volume compared to, say, the IRGC. The Iran has a 1 million-man army, and there's almost 200,000 in the IRGC. So how do you beat that?
Yeah. Let that sink in. All right, so let's talk about, while making his rounds on the Sunday shows, you had UN Ambassador Mike Waltz, who was echoing Trump's claims that Iran has been beaten and completely decimated, both militarily and economically. If true, how is Iran continuing its attacks on the interests of the U.S. and its allies?
Yeah, another great question. Now, if you do look at it tactically and what the military has done, sure, a lot of the weapon systems and everything have been decimated. That's absolutely true. The hard part is, again, we get into these drones. These drones have been mass produced significantly underground, distributed around the a country tremendously, just as they've supported Russia significantly for their attack in Ukraine. These things are mass produced, just like any kind of commercial product. That's one of the issues. Now, the disruption of the command and control was really good, but we're still seeing these groups launch. Now, that could have been a prepared, operating procedure. They've been preparing against these fights with Israel and the United States for many years. Now, back to what you were saying about the neighboring countries. One of the worst that has to lose here is the United Arab Emirates. They have received most of the attacks, and they make 10% of their GDP on tourism. How many people are planning a vacation in Dubai right now, considering what has just occurred? A lot of people have left, and I don't think for the next year to possibly 2 years, people are really leaning forward to be on the beaches of Dubai.
Yeah. Well, let me add to that quickly with regard to the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad, which is urging all Americans to leave the country. To what extent are you worried that this war could spill into other countries beyond just affecting the tourism in Dubai?
Great question. So one of the things about the embassies, of course, the evacuations. When it was one embassy, we would do non-combatant evacuation operations, what we call NEO. Now we're talking about a significant amount of embassies because they have struck Saudi, Jordan, all these other countries. So having those countries brought in as far as attacking, I don't really see that because really Israel and the United States has taken care of and is taking care of a lot of those particular strikes. Having those countries step in to do the defensive against the drones and so forth, again, would be the most beneficial. I'm surprised. That would be one of the things to strike down is, again, defending Hormuz and defending against those drones. The reason why is originally Iran struck these particular countries, I think, to say, hey, we're doing this because of America. At the same time, that's the same thing that they're proposing, but this duration, the longer this goes, is not beneficial for us. And Iran is there, located, able to strike. This is where these countries have to look. What are we losing? Not today, but in the next year or so. And so that's my alluding to what UAE is doing. What is going to impact them, their image, and their development for not today, the next year? And that's what we really need to start thinking about.
Okay, Major Glenn Ignazio, thank you so much. Good to see you.